Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another stream. Hope you're having a nice weekend, whatever you're doing. And hope everyone's not melting too much in the heat wave. As it seems to be a heat wave pretty much everywhere in the world at the minute. I mean, that's up to you, Brylin. You do you. Yeah, so today we're just going to do some PSO. It's rare drop week. We need some co-op. So as always, if you do want to play, we're just on Ephinea and it's block 2 on the European ship, lobby 21. Hey, Pika. Yes, I think we'll get this rare drop week. We'll get, I want to say maybe one more, and then the one after that might be anniversary. So it's within touching distance now. So we'll just get a few minutes in case everyone wants to jump on, and then we'll get started. So just while we are getting started, me and Kathy recorded the next episode of the Arcs Lounge podcast a few days ago. I believe that's going live about the 8th or 9th of July. So again, keep an eye out for that on Kathy's channel. Our guest this time is Zealmantic, who is one of the other NGS creators. Yeah, I think some of the missions this week aren't too bad, Pika. I can't remember what the RDR is now. So we've got mop up 1, sweep up 8, and sweep up 14. So I know sweep up 14 is good for get the blue loos and most things in desert. Hey, Cole, good to see you. Yeah, this is the card game lobby, Berlin. So on Ephinea, they've got it set so that a few of the lobbies are the episode 3 card lobbies. We picked this basically because it's kind of Skylight colors. It kind of works. And I like the Ep3 lobby anyway, so. But yeah, this was the lobby that you would come to on PSO episode 3 card revolution. So yeah, so for this week, the RBR, mop up 1 is apparently really good for Tollors. So if anyone's got an ID that's good for Tollors, that's actually a good quest for it. Vector's here. And sweep up 8, I think, is Seabed, which seems to be fairly good for Seabed drops. And then, as I said, the episode 4 quest also seems pretty good for hunting and stuff as well. So it's actually not a bad RBR week, honestly. So if anyone wants a Lavis or a Handgun Miller from Tollors, I think this is probably a good week to hunt it from those. Any get the blue lure drops. Honestly, most stuff in desert is probably huntable on this RBR. And more stuff in Seabed as well. So yeah, pretty generous RBR this week, and all being said. Of course, there's no tower RBR this week, because why would there be? So yeah, if anyone wants to hunt anything from any of those quests in particular, we can certainly start with those if you want. The main thing I want from Ep4 is probably V801. The problem is that Purple Nub Desert really isn't that great, apart from V801. Yeah, I will mention that while we're here, actually. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen, in case you haven't been keeping up with it, there is a movement at the minute called Stop Killing Games, which is to try and sort of encourage devs to provide some kind of support for games that go offline. So whether that's just the ability to play them in some capacity or have some kind of access to them once they're not playable anymore. There is a petition you can go and sign if you want to, or you can read all about it. I would encourage you to read up about it before you sign, just to make sure it's something you agree with. But yeah, definitely go and check that out if you're interested. You need a few V101s. Yeah, I think everyone is. Good to see your Arkham as well. So, I mean, Pika is Green Hill. I mean, do you want to start with the Green Hill Ep4? We may as well try and get a V101 out of this. Seems like a logical place to start, so... Yeah, I respect what the movement is trying to do. There are some issues with it that are quite hard to overcome, but I do respect what they're trying to do. But yeah, I think it's sweep up 14 this week, isn't it, for RBR? Yeah, sweep up 14, so we could always do a Green Hill sweep up 14. Again, just while we are getting started as well, for everyone who didn't see the community post on YouTube, the plan was at some point to play Front Mission 3, and I was holding out for the Front Mission 3 remake. Those plans have now changed because the Front Mission 3 remake is a mess. So I still do want to play Front Mission 3. I think for anyone who wasn't at the Discord call yesterday, I think my plan is I want to try and play through Front Mission 3 probably after I've beaten Phantasy Star 4. And I will be playing the original version of Front Mission 3, not the remake. Alright, so it looks like the game is up for... Well, it says no V101. I like that we're trying to juke the game into dropping it. I wish we had all ranges as well. But yeah, generally I don't go into sort of, movements that are ongoing, but I think keeping all games live is really important. Realistically, without the existence of things like private servers, PSO would be a lot less popular than it is now, We have a Pikachu. Great name for a Phonewell. You just need to say out loud then that you don't actually want V101, then the game will drop it, yeah. I do not want a V101. You see, what will happen now is the game will use reverse psychology and not drop it. Oh, we're on odd beats, so I can't divine punishment spam everything. Sad. What's the deal with the petition? So it's basically a petition. It's called Stop Killing Games. It's basically to try and keep old games alive in some degree when they go offline, like particularly for online games. So once they get to end of service or anything, just trying to keep some way of them being able to be either playable or accessible in some degree. The details are still kind of sketchy on how they would necessarily achieve that, but I kind of respect what they're trying to do. So I missed. Oof. Yeah, being level 84 Phonewell here is probably quite rough. Annoyingly, there is a lot of lizards, so I kind of have to melee for a lot of this. Yeah, good at seeing this. Hope you're not suffering too much in the heat wave. And I saw the picture you posted on Discord about how hot it was. I like how I saw you get hit by that and then just proceeded to walk into it. Got a heat resistant frame on you, it's fine. I can't remember the last time we're on this quest. Yeah, I suppose some games are quite lucky in that they've got, you know, very dedicated fan bases that will keep the games going, you know, like PSO. But you know, there are a lot of games that are not that lucky. This is where I really wish I had a Demon's Needle. But, you know, speaking of S ranks, you know, if you want an S rank, I am now doing a weekly thing on Thursdays on the Discord. I will not necessarily be there every single week, but I'm just setting up as an event for people to drop in and drop out of. But we are doing a challenge mode on the Discord, so just feel free to drop in and out of that any Thursday. So we did do a run last week and we actually did pretty well. Did all forests, got through most of the caves as well, so not going too badly at all. Just like gives people a set time when it's a bit easier to arrange to meet up with other people. Again, just to reiterate, I won't necessarily be there every week for that. It's just I've set the event up so it's there for if people do want to jump in and do some challenge mode, the time slots there. I would also say as well, for anyone who does want to consider joining it, don't feel you have to have challenge mode experience. I'm more than happy to go through it with people who've never done it before. Glad you said that. Yeah, I know challenge mode can be quite sort of intimidating if you've never done it before because it is so different to the regular game. Yeah, honestly, the way I look at challenge mode is you are probably going to fail some runs of it. It's fine. You got a V101? Really? Does it actually exist? It does? See, Drafia, it worked. We said we didn't want one, and one actually dropped. Yeah, congrats on that. Also, that was a hell of a crit. Been playing Maple Story recently and haven't done a particular party quest in 15 years. The other guys in the party were not helpful at all, ended up dipping in the middle. Yeah, I think, you know, on this, I think people have to realise, you know, it's a really old game. A lot of people who are playing it now maybe didn't do it at the time. You know, you kind of have to accept that, you know, there's going to be new people who've never done it. Hey, Drac, good to see you. The Vector just got a V101. Also, hang on, we got a rare drop in rare drop week. That should not happen. He used an interesting strategy to get it. Well, to be fair, I think with Vector, his strategy is to join the game. What Discord was chatting about? So my personal Discord. So there should be a link to it. On Twitch, I think it's in like the info panel underneath the stream. There should be a link to it. And also on YouTube, it's normally in the video descriptions as well. But yeah, I have my own little Discord channel, so we do the challenge mode thing once on Thursdays, and we normally do like a little Saturday meetup as well. Yeah, that does remind me, I do need to make a Discord command on Twitch chat. That would probably help. I will sort that after the stream. There is a lot of dad jokes, to be fair, yeah. C mode was fun. Yeah, it was a really good run, actually. I mean, I've done episode 1 a couple of times now, but obviously I'd forgotten a lot of the maps. It was quite scary, Drac, honestly, because I was the one having to read the maps. Are we doing a 4 Uni World Challenge mod? I mean, I'd be up for it. It'd be miserable, though. Is there an Ep4 challenge mode? There isn't for some reason. I don't know why there isn't. Hi, Boy, good to see you. Yeah, I've never understood that why they didn't do an Ep4 challenge mode. The only thing I can think of is, obviously, for the S-rank weapons that you get from it, in Ep1 and Ep2, we kind of cover pretty much all the weapon types, so maybe it was just that they didn't know what to have as a reward. I guess Ep4 challenge mode is probably quite boring as well, because it is only like 2 areas, really. I feel a bit sorry for our Phony World, because this is not a nice place to be with a level 80-something Phony World. So that's more like it, you know. Other people get V101s, I get a Justy. Green Hill confirmed. On the beach, aka seaside, watch out for Gigus. None so far, just zoos. But yeah, I think Ep4 challenge mode would have been interesting if they had done it. I'm assuming it was either because of maybe the lack of rewards, or maybe because it's only a couple of areas. Maybe they just thought it wasn't worth doing. Also, apologies if you can hear a fan in the background. I've basically got one fan on either side of me to try and keep cool, because it is very warm, very, very warm here. I think it's meant to be even warmer tomorrow as well, which is not great because that's when I go back to work. I'm not looking forward to sitting in the middle of an office in heatwave heat. Issue where I live is humidity. It's 75%, feels like you're swimming outside. It's horrible. Yeah, it's the kind of heat here where you basically go outside and like the air feels thick. It's horrible. Yeah, I think you normally go down that hole to get some extra time, but as this is an RBR quest, we don't have the time limit this week, so I think we just push on. But yeah, would not recommend doing like a stream when it's this warm. But we're here, we'll play some PSO. So I'm assuming, is there a door to the northeast here as well? Yes. Oh, I do kind of remember this quest actually, yeah. It's kind of annoying this part because the walkway is so narrow, you just get blocked in. Become a VTuber and stream with only shorts on. I think becoming a VTuber was brought up in the Discord thing yesterday. Stranger Art has come twice in a few days, but am I getting toasted over that? Yes, to a degree. I will say it's at least it's not as bad here as it is in like Southern Europe. Southern Europe is absolutely roasting at the minute, but it is still quite bad. SectionSkyly is going to become a cam girl. That's the next arc. Nah, maybe not. I forgot how much I dislike episode 4 with a ranger when I don't have access to Divine Punishment. Yeah, this quest is really good for hunting, honestly, quite a lot of the stuff in desert. Particularly, you get the blue loos. I think there's about 7 of them in the quest, so it is quite good. Yeah, California World is not having a good time. Very good experience, though. Good experience, at least. I'm glad to hear that. At least you're getting something out of it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Mist. I wouldn't mind going after a Naze Claw at some point, but I would need to first of all make a Viridia. I think Blueful can get it on Blue Burst as well, but it is a horrible hunt from Gerters. And I don't know what's worse, hunting it from Viridia Ilgils or Blueful Gerters. They're kind of both terrible. It would be cool to go after. I know it's not even that good a weapon, but it's one of those things where you just kind of want one just because it's cool. Can I just say as well, I hunted on this quite a bit last week during Rare Monster Week, and I only got 1 Rare Monster for the entire week. I was very, very disappointed. You love doing it full with your Mal. I mean, I love doing it. I mean, I was hunting V801 last week from Pazuzu, and like running max attack with it was really easy, particularly if it was like even beats for Divine Punishment, because with Divine Punishment she was just obliterating everything. But when it was odd beats, it was a bit of a struggle. Yeah, I still think Ep 4 is probably my least favourite episode overall. I think part of that, though, is just that there isn't really a whole lot to it. We just need a Heaven Punisher. That's all. Yeah, I mean, I am leveling a blue full during Experience Week. So I don't know, maybe during Anniversary you can go and hunt some Hildatars. Maybe. F1 in a nutshell, sand, sand, rock, underground sand, pretty much. I think what makes F4 a bit worse for me is the fact that obviously there aren't that many areas to begin with, and then a lot of the enemies are shared between the areas. Hi Nathan, relatively new to Ephinea, what's Experience Week? So on Ephinea there is basically a full week rotating boost. So each week something in the game will be boosted. So this week it changes over on Sunday, so it's just changed over today. And this week is rare drop week, so we get a plus 25% chance for rare drops. Then next week it will go to Experience Week, so next Sunday. That will give you plus 50% experience for that week. Then it goes to, I believe it's drop all rate, which increases the chance of enemies dropping an item in general, which includes rares. And then after that it goes to rare monster week, so that is I think a 50% increased rare monster rate. So it's like a constantly rotating boost. The only time it changes is during certain events. They might change the boost. Oh wow, 2 V101s in the same run. What is this? Yeah, so occasionally when there's events on Ephinea, they will sometimes change how the boosts work. So in probably around August is the biggest event of the year, which is the Ephinea Anniversary. And during the Anniversary event, they normally have all 4 of those rotating boosts active at the same time, and they get boosted further during the event. But yeah, generally, if you're leveling a low-level character, next week is probably a really good time to play, because it should be Experience Week then. Like from next Sunday onwards. Told you, the game thinks you don't want it. So that's the thing, I said I don't want a V101, and the game has taken that literally and is giving everyone else a V101 now. But if I'd said I want a V101, the game would think I'm greedy and not give me one. There's no winning. I got a PD. It's almost like the commiseration thing from the game. Here, take this. Joke's on you, game. I won 4 on drops. Maybe the vector luck is spreading. Maybe it is. I mean, it is getting close to the anniversary, so maybe the closer we get to the anniversary, the more the luck will start to spread. But yeah, Nathan, hope that cleared things up. Like I say, even outside of events, we do have that 4-week rotating boost, so there's always something that's boosted in the game. They also do a thing called Ragdoll Boost Road, which is where they pick 3 quests every week, 1 from each episode. And those quests get further boosts as well. Can you too well, someone got a V101. We have had 2 V101s in this run. Vector got 1 and Pika got 1. V101s do not stack, unfortunately. Well, the stat boosts will stack, but the attack speed does not stack. It would be really funny if you ended up with like 80% increased attack speed. Yeah, honestly, this seems like a really decent quest for hunting desert stuff. Maybe not outside of regular boost road because they'd have a time limit, so it'd be a bit harder. I'll say, I realised our timing was really bad with this quest. We really should have left this until even beats. It's a playable. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? That's 3 V101s. Yeah, so apparently this is the week. Yeah, this is insane. Like, this does not happen. Yeah, you joined us at a good time to play, but we had 3 V101s in this single run. This is a crazy vector luck moment. It must be. That is the only conclusion I can draw. I mean, I'll take it. I'm always after V101s. There are always characters to use V101s. No, I just got one, Minsky. I just got one now. Somehow. So we just need to get one for Pika now, for Pikachu, and then, you know, then the whole party will have one. I'm so glad someone's got a Hell Needle. Yeah, that was an insane run. I mean, honestly, this character probably needs it. She's still using the Heavenly Battle, so I guess she can swap that over now. Nice. How would you feel about a banner on the stream? I mean, where do we go from finding 3 V101s in one run? It has been a long time since a banner on stream. Are you close to 200, miss? I mean, 3 SGS would be a pretty big jump, yeah. To be fair, I would take 1. So no SGS. I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, we can do an SGS run if you want. You know, I'm always down for it. Just be very careful not to team point the V101, because that would be quite a mistake. Just want to say I've been enjoying the podcast with you and Kathy, dude. Interesting to listen to. Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, I know it's not going to be for everyone because obviously it is very NGS focused. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I was just saying we recorded the next episode a couple of days ago with Zeomantic, who's another NGS creator. So that is going live. I think it's about the 8th or 9th of July. That's going up. See, that was a bit of a crazy run. Yeah, 3 V101s to start the stream. That just doesn't happen. You'll sit out for the run. Yeah, no worries, Vector. Thank you for providing your luck to the last run. Yeah, so it's up to you. I mean, if you want to do a banner and hit 200, that's fine. Or we can leave it for another time, whichever you prefer. Might need a couple of runs. Hey, Pikachu. Is blue easy to get Heaven Punisher? I mean, there is obviously no easy drop for it. If you want to go the rare enemies route, then it's your only option. I would say it's probably either blue full. I would personally, if you're going for Heaven Punisher, I would probably go either blue full Skyly or purple Numb. We're shocked to hear some original PSO music in the cafe area in NGS. It was nice to see earlier. Yeah, so there's certain areas in NGS that play music from older games. There's even some that play music from like the original Phantasy stars. The cafe in Central City rotates, I think, between a few different themes. So I know it plays the PSO, I think it's the PSO lobby theme. And it also plays a few of the PSO 2 cafe themes as well. But yeah, there's quite a few places in the world that have these like little hidden music parts, which is quite cool, honestly. It's one thing I do like. So what's other options? I mean, there is a seabed quest. So I mean, we could do something like blue full seabed for maybe for a psycho one. I don't know how many Delbites are in the quest though. I mean, not that you need any more psycho ones, Mist. There's 9. It's not bad. Is blue full seabed actually good apart from psycho wand? Seabed's an area I'm really not as familiar with because I don't tend to run it very often. Mainly because Skyly seabed's pretty terrible. No, okay. I mean, there's always an SGS run. I'm just saying. But yeah, it is a nice thing that they do that in NGS where they kind of reference some of the older music. Always up for a co-op. Yeah, go on then. We can do an SGS run. I can switch over to my Huni if you want me to use Skyly. Yeah, I have got a video coming out on it'll be Tuesday for members and it'll be the following week for non-members. There was recently an interview with the series director of NGS, Daiki Hamazaki. And basically, he was going through some things about NGS and he was covering things like the roadmap as well. And he kind of mentioned a little bit about the PSO 25th anniversary. It didn't go into too much detail with it, but basically, it sounds like we are getting some kind of quest in NGS that is potentially going to have PSO enemies in it. The main reason we know that is because on the NGS roadmap, there was a picture of a Ragrappy from PSO 1. So it sounds like we're getting some kind of collaboration quest with PSO 1. I assume maybe a scratch that has PSO 1 outfits. I'm still hoping for more, but at least we know they're doing something now. I think I watched a Karopi video on that, probably. I don't really keep up with Karopi very much, honestly, because I tend to find that quite often he posts videos about him like burning out on NGS. And I don't know, like, my opinion that is, I think if you're making videos about how you burned out, I would just say take a step back and take a break from the game. But everyone does it differently, I guess. But for me, if I was getting burned out, I would just rather take a break from the game. Okay, so at spur of the moment, not an avid follower. Helmet and game. In fact, let's be ambitious. Okay, actually, let's do what we did last time. So I do not want a CLJ sword. So now we've established that. So password is stream. I mean, it seemed to work last time with the V101, so... I've also just realised as well that we are, having dragged the level 80-something 4-new through desert, we are now dragging them into tower. It does feel a bit like an initiation at this point. I, again, apologise in advance. Tower at 187 is rough enough, let alone 87. It's still rough for 200. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I'll leave it up to the people who are in this game. Do you want to do tower or do you want to do seaside? Because we could do PW1, which has a decent amount of gig in it and doesn't have tower death. It's up to you. I mean, I'm happy to do tower if you want to, but I'm also happy to do seaside. It's not that bad, right? I mean, there is a lot of death. I mean, I'm fine doing tower if you want. You get a trusty bringers with V5 or 2. Up to you. I mean, this is sounding like people want to do tower. Oh, banner. That better not be a CLJ sword banner. Resondo 30, we're fine. It hasn't been stolen yet. Let's try tower, okay. So even the 4-new is on board, so we're going for it. Rip Mag IQ. This guy's about to throw hands. It happens so often. We'll start a run and then we'll see a banner for the thing we're hunting. So here we are again. Back to Skyly Jail. I got a 30-hit Durandal from one of those boxes. Maybe it's a sign. I don't know what I'm going to do with a 30-hit Durandal, but it's there. I was not expecting him to land there, like directly on my face. I will pick that up and drop it, so if anyone does want a 30-hit Durandal, there you go. I'm not sure what was going on with that Gibbles there. I think he was having a bit of a problem. Yeah, I don't know what was happening with him. He was having issues. Okay, it's time. It's a mere 1 in 10,082. How hard can it be? Is an SGS co-op run a Chantanya? Good to see you as well. Don't shoot me. Pika got a reverse. I was afraid this is going to get very confusing because we have Pika Wood and Pikachu. Yeah, honestly, Brevis is a really cool looking gun. I kind of wish it was better. It's like a cool silence pistol. There's honestly quite a few like lower-end weapons that actually look really good, and I kind of wish they were usable. I guess that's one reason for having the weapon hearts on Ephinea that kind of, you know, let you use good weapons and make them look like other weapons. So honestly, for me, I personally think DB Saber is one of the coolest looking weapons in the game. It's a really good looking weapon, but it's terrible. But having Heart of DB Saber allows people to actually make the weapon look like it. Hi, Samantha. I got very, very lucky there. Yeah, honestly, if we do get a quest with PSO enemies, I personally, you know, in NGS, I kind of hope that we get something that has mirror carols, just so NGS players can experience the pain and suffering of fighting these damn things. Do you have a CLJ sword? I do not have a CLJ sword. We're trying. Tell us how you really feel. Well, the thing is, you always hear people complaining about NGS not having difficulty, which first of all is just objectively wrong, because things like Masquerade and Malignant Vile are actually hard. Secondly, they need to experience what we went through. Good luck. Oh, thanks, Samantha. Yeah, we're going to need it, I think. This is a very long-term hunt. This hunt has been going on and off since about 2003. Not every day I hasten to add. Because, God, that would be depressing. Yeah, WTF is a Dell Lily. Honestly, I would just like to see them, yeah, even bring something like a Dell Lily or an Ob Lily. Just to see the look on an NGS player's face when they just get one shot. Again, not saying that NGS is too easy, because there is definitely some difficult things in the game now, but just pot tower at this point. I mean, it's interesting that, I mean, it was very, very brief that I touched on it in the NGS headline. They just said that there is going to be some kind of quest with PSO enemies, and it said, I'm sure they said that it will have a Dark Fall. The way they described it was a Dark Falls class enemy. So to me, that says we're either getting Dark Falls from PSO or we're getting Olga Floor. I could see them doing Olga Floor more, personally. Even though it's the 25th anniversary of Dreamcast, which didn't have Olga Floor. I think them porting Olga Floor over to NGS would be an easier job. Because we already have enemies in NGS that kind of resemble Olga Floor. I'd be happy with either, honestly. Please hit. I think PSO2 players would get one shot even if they put the lilies, just because they change how Megid works. Yeah, they'd have to rework it, I suppose, because yeah, I guess Megid does just kind of do damage, and then you have like elemental downs in NGS for bosses. That said, there is an enemy in NGS. I think it's called Ikasa Bujin. It's like one of the ninja enemies, and that does have like a parry attack that seems to one-shot. But I don't know if it just does a lot of damage to kill you, or if it's an actual one-shot mechanic. Yeah, it is weird how they changed how all the status effects work. I mean, they do it every few games, to be fair. I do feel very sorry for our Phony World, because this is not what you want to be doing at level 88. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do for the 25th. I am hoping there is more to it than just NGS events, though. What I'm really hoping for is, I mean, I think a lot of people want either a remake or a remaster. I think a lot of people feel that way. For me, honestly, that would be nice. I would also like to see some like 25th anniversary merch as well. The main reason for that is because I am going to Japan at the end of the year, a few weeks before PSO's 25th anniversary, and there is a Sega store opening in Shibuya. That presents a potentially very dangerous combination. I mean, in all likelihood, I imagine that the Sega store's mainly going to be, like, it's probably Sonic, Yakuza, probably Persona and Metaphor stuff. I'd imagine they'll be the main things that sell, but I think if you go to a Sega store in Japan, maybe there's a chance of some Phantasy Star merch, maybe. I think the building that the new Sega store's in is going to be extremely dangerous for my wallet, because not only is the Sega store there, also the Nintendo store is there and the Capcom store. And that is not a good combination. Yeah, I would say I would try and stream from there, but it's really hard getting permissions and everything for, you know, for streaming in shops and so on. So likelihood is I'll probably take like a few photos while I'm in there. I'll probably post them on the Discord. It's not until November that I go, so it's a little while off, but all right, here we go. Top floor number 1. I get the impression that the Vector luck boost might have worn off. It does kind of feel that since he left the party, the rares seem to have more or less stopped. Unless... So, no SGS from those ones, huh? I really don't know why I subject myself to this. Can you stop doing that? That was a massive crit. Oh, banner. Do not be a CLJ sword. Good. Has someone got a Heaven Punisher? Yeah, I do feel that Heaven Punisher, I genuinely don't know if the blue full or the purple num drop is the best. Skylight drop is decent, but I don't think it's quite as good. It does feel like it's a choice mainly between purple or blue. I guess fundamentally it probably depends on how lucky you are with getting the rare enemies to show up. Can you look onto the Ilgil? That'd be nice. Forest runs versus Ep2 runs, rather go for Ep1. Yeah, it's a bit of a toss-up. I mean, obviously doing Ep2, you know, fighting Merrick Harolds is a lot harder. But I suppose the advantage of going the Merrick Harol route is that you've got a guaranteed chance of getting it from every single Merrick Harol that you fight. Where, you know, realistically you could go for, you know, run after run after run on blue full, trying to find a hill to try and knock at one shot. It's really hit or miss. It's the same deal with Psycho Wand as well. I mean, having said that, I found Psycho Wand from my Mill Lily, so they're probably kind of comparable drops, honestly. But yeah, if you want the easy drop in terms of difficulty, Forest definitely, because Forest is way easier than Ep2. Unfortunately, with SGS, we don't have an option. This is the only drop. Deal with it. Can you not? I still really hate fighting these things. They will never be fun. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand here and try and distract that Lily. I've never liked with these things how you try and shoot the center one and your lock keeps shifting to the shields. I guess that's kind of the whole point, that they want you to get in the middle. Ah, yes, this spawn. They just waste so much time as well. I'm not liking that they're desynced. Oh, there's one dead. I still think this is probably the hardest spawn in the quest. Maybe the massive Ilgil spawn at the end of the... Is it second tower, I think? Could be this tower. Second tower. Yeah, I hope no one's trying to raise my guy Q or Synchro, because this does not help. Yeah, so I think we'll be doing PSO today, obviously. I think for the next couple of weeks, we'll probably play some other Phantasy Star games on the weekend. We'll probably do PSO on Rare Drop weeks. And I think following that, we'll probably revisit PSO more when the anniversary happens. I think once that happens, we'll play PSO quite a bit. But yeah, definitely want to play some from Mission 3. Probably again once I've done Phantasy Star 3 and 4. But honestly, I kind of feel like people were not minding some RPGs, so maybe we'll revisit some of the Final Fantasy games as well, potentially. I know we did do a stream where we played Final Fantasy VIII, so maybe we could go back to that as well at some point. But yeah, Front Mission is something I definitely want to do again. But yeah, definitely not the remake. I mean, you say Warframe. I know you were very, very keen on me playing Warframe in the Discord event yesterday, to put it mildly. I like how Vector is now joining in. I feel that everyone wants me to play Warframe apart from me. Yeah, no shade on Warframe or anything. I feel there's like an echo in chat now. I know you all have a lot of fun playing Warframe, and that's fine. I tried to have you back yesterday. But yeah, I do need to definitely think about some more games that I want to cover, mainly once I've done the classic Phantasy Stars. Oh, you only have my back some of the time. I mean, that's fair, honestly. I think priority for the meantime is definitely finish Phantasy Star 3, and then I want to more or less straight away do Phantasy Star 4, because it's been a long time coming, honestly. Yeah, definitely after that, we'll look into some other games. Phantasy Star 4, then Warframe. No, my view at the minute is I don't mind watching you guys play Warframe. I don't really feel a pull to play it. You need a multiplayer Wednesday. I mean, for the channel, that like the way it's always been for the most part is I've typically done Phantasy Star games on a weekend, and then it was originally other games during the week. Obviously, because I've been playing the classic Phantasy Star RPGs, they've kind of taken over the Wednesdays. I would like to, though. I think once all the classic Phantasy Star games are done, I would like to again try and vary things up a bit. Darktide, Helldivers. There's some good suggestions. Helldivers, I say I've seen a lot of people playing Helldivers. Never tried it myself. I think it was just because I don't know if I was busy playing something else at the time, or if I just didn't have the money to buy it when it came out. Honestly, can't remember. It does look fun though. Darktide looks fun. I've only seen a little bit of Darktide. I know when Vector streamed it before. Again, I used to play 40k, so I am kind of familiar with the world and everything. Oh, I'm not liking I'm in the middle of a lot of ill girls. That's probably not good. Please freeze. Cute. My observation is Skyly takes Saturdays to sit back and watch other people stream. Yeah, I'd say that's fair, honestly. Not even necessarily just to watch people stream. It's nice to just sort of hang out with the community without having to stream myself as well. C mode PSO stream. I mean, let's say we are doing C mode on Thursdays. I would necessarily stream it because I know last time we did it, I was the one like doing all the directions and everything. So I think doing that while streaming is probably quite difficult. Tower PS0. Yeah, I'm up for doing more Tower in PS0 as well, yeah. I mean, I will say I do appreciate that you guys do watch when I do play single player games as well. Oh, Pika got a soul banish, nice. It's been a pretty good day for Res, honestly. I mean, you know, 3v101s, and you know, at least I've had something drop in tower. I mean, there is other games I really do like, but I sometimes wonder if they're a good fit for the stream. So it's kind of hard to choose what to play sometimes. At the minute, like I said, it's not really an issue because realistically, Phantasy Star 3 and 4 is going to be, you know, the next couple of months, I would imagine. Tokyo Drift was cool too. Yeah, again, I appreciate that was like a totally different game to what we normally play. Again, I do appreciate Peterloo stuck around for that because I know it wasn't for everyone. I mean, there is the Monster Hunter Wilds update on Monday as well, but I don't know, man. I think I'll probably wait on that and just see if they improve the PC performance first. Yeah, Wilds definitely needs a bit more time, for sure. I do get the impression it was rushed out. It feels that way. For what it's worth, I think Title Update 2 does look relatively interesting. I think the monster choices are a bit whatever. I know a lot of people really wanted Laggy back. I didn't play Try, so I don't really have any connection to it. For good or bad. I know a lot of people did want it back, to be fair. Another Pika on a banner. Or 2 Pikas here and another one on the banner. But yeah, I think Laggy's fine. I don't honestly really care about Seregios being back. Because he was literally in Sunbreak. I just fought it fairly recently, so I don't really know why he needed to be back. And it'd be a cool fight, but I think we could have chosen something different. Wonder if my computer could even run this game. What, PSO? I think most things could probably run PSO. I have a lot of grief with the fact that I can get the game to crash consistently. Yeah, it is really not a stable game. Wilds, it has issues. It's 2018 Mac Mini. I've got no idea what the specs are like on Macs, honestly. I've never really had a Mac myself, so... Half of the gibbles in this run have been bugged for me. They do seem very, very buggy gibbles in this game. I think generally, if you're not the host of the game, they do quite often bug out. I'm going to try and lag you when it releases. I will probably log on and check out the update, yeah. I'm just hoping it runs a bit better because it just feels like it runs worse every single patch. Specs are fine to software support, Macs a different architecture to Windows, and doesn't have compatibility layers like Linux does. Yeah, I'm genuinely not sure how PSO would run. I mean, specs-wise, you really don't need much to run it. It's, you know, it's obviously a very old game. Yeah, I would say if you are considering trying PSO, now is probably a good time to do it because, again, we've got Experience Week starting next week, like from next Sunday. So, like, you know, a week's time from now. But yeah, August should be the anniversary event, which is always the biggest event of the year and gives a lot of experience. Yeah, definitely make sure you step on that switch because it's rough otherwise. So can we do it? Can we get a PB chain? I think we did it. Yeah, generally the community on Ephinea is really helpful as well. And quite often you will find people who will just like give out gear and stuff as well for new players because once you play it for a while you end up with so much stuff, you just end up giving it out to people. And that was a gig you fought on drop, wasn't it? Oof. I'm so sorry. I've been there so many times. Yeah, at least it wasn't on my screen, so I feel less offended. I don't like this tile because the enemies kind of spawn in weird patterns. You tend to find they don't really spawn altogether. Also, how did I survive that? I mean, I'll take it, but I don't really know how that happened. Yeah, I still feel I think SGS has to be one of the hardest things in the game to get. Just because, not necessarily because of the drop rate, just because there is only one drop for it on one ID, just makes it very restrictive. Yeah, the gel bite is a rough Floney well. They're really hard to avoid when they first spawn in. You have to kind of remember when the spawns are and try and get for you in time, but I can never remember what wave they spawn on. Yeah, I'd like to think we're just getting this SGS run out the way. And then we can move on and forget it ever happened. Another photon drop. Okay, let's wait for the ill girl death. Oh, parts and a lightning drop as well. So we are getting a few drops at least, so... Honestly, our Floney will deserves it for putting up with this. Yeah, I don't know, maybe this spawn's one of the worst, maybe. This spawn really sucks. It's so scary going near these when they're purple. Thank you for the hydrate, Nemo. I'll do that in a minute. I'm amazed it's taking this long to redeem, actually. Yeah, we're doing an SGS Copium run. We just finished it, more or less. think we've had all of our rare drops for this stream though. We got in the first desert run that we did, we got 3 V101 drops. So I think we've used all our luck for not only this stream, but perhaps the rest of the year. Okay, no, maybe this spawn is the worst one. RIP anniversary. Yeah, maybe. You love Megid. We all love Megid. There we go, we did it. No SGS anywhere, but you know. Again, I'm sorry for putting everyone through that. You need 61k to 200. Oh, nice one. I think my Fornuel is now, she's almost halfway to 200 now. She's about 181, 182. So I would say she's getting there, but yeah. Where Fowler? I know, it's disappointing, isn't it? I would have done it, but I don't have a PB, so. Well, GG everyone. And again, I'm sorry for putting you through that. And again, make sure you talk to Noel to get your coins. I know I say it every time, but I'll forget myself if I don't. I need to actually check at some point how many coins I've got. I don't think I have that many because I'm sure I used a lot recently. You never use them. There is some decent stuff you can get from them. I mean, there's a few of the God Shields you can get, which you can then... I think when you've got all 4, you can trade them in for a better version in Claire's deal. You can get 4 undrops from it. You can get some special weapons with it. They tend to be 9 stars, but you can get things like MA60 Vice, so there is potentially good drops from it. No worries, Pikachu. Thanks for the parties as well. Good to see it. But yeah, there is a few decent things you can get. You can also get materials and scape dolls from the roulette as well. I mean, they drop pretty often anyway, but it's another way of getting them. I think you can get TP materials from it as well. So you can always tell it's been a tower run when you have to buy 9 moon atomizers after the quest. Kind of makes it moot point when Vice drops from other things. Yeah, it's just another way of getting it. I suppose it depends on your ID as well. I mean... yeah, if you've got Purple Num, then you can get Vice from pretty much everything. The Skylight's not bad actually, because on Skylight there are barely any mech gun drops at all, so it's an option. VI am my beloved. I'm trying to remember if you can get a VI from the roulette. I know you can definitely get a Brionac, because I got one a few days ago. Yeah, you get advice from Farming Psycho ones. I also never got a decent one. I don't think I ever got one with hit, to be honest. Alright, so we've got a bit of time yet, so... is there anything that everyone wants to do a run for? We've done V101, we've done SGS Copium, so I'm happy to help anyone or anything now. I suppose the real question is, where do you want to hit level 200 Mist? If you want to do it today, it's up to you if you want to hit 200 today or not, or if you want to save it for another time. There's always a green spaceship run. If you want to do a green spaceship run, I'm happy to do one. It is RDR week, so I mean, obviously there's no question spaceship on the boost road, because of course there isn't. Everyone hits level 200 before Minsk. Yeah, no worries, Nimu. Yeah, so it sounds like Nimu's going to join, so we can do a green hill spaceship run, try and find a gold. And yeah, hopefully get a level 200 banner. I do wonder what would happen on Ephinea if you hit level 200 and someone else found a really rare item at about the same time. I'm guessing the game would only play one banner. So would it just be like dumb luck whether you got your banner or the other person did? Like, can you imagine finding like a sealed J sword and someone else gets a red ring at the same time and you don't get a banner? I don't know if I queues the banners up or not. It overwrites. That's what happens when you got the Faust. Okay. It's a shame it can't queue the banners up a little bit, because realistically you're not going to get loads of banners in a row generally. You know, more often during anniversary I'd imagine, but you're never going to have a huge queue of banners going, so it's kind of a shame that they don't just queue up. No SGS, unfortunately, no. It's going to be anniversary. We're going to get one during anniversary. We're not. So yeah, once the new gets on, we'll do a green hill spaceship run. Someone got a decent hit frozen shoot when it happened. I did see on the Discord that apparently someone got a 90 hit frozen shoot recently. That's incredibly busted and worth a fortune. Hopefully they detect it right. No, it's just a rhetorical question. That's the thing, if you got a 90 hit frozen shooter, that I assume it was 90 hit untech'd and tech up to 100, would you make a Snow Queen out of it? I don't think I would. I know Snow Queen needs hit to be good, and I know Snow Queen is a good weapon, but it is also quite situational. I kind of feel like you get better mileage out of a 90 hit frozen shooter, personally. I think I'd rather have, like, say, a 30 or 40 hit frozen shooter to turn into a Snow Queen. I just unlocked Ultimate in PSO GameCube and getting my ass kicked. Welcome to Ultimate. If you're struggling, one thing you can do, Mold, is absolutely exploit the fact that enemies don't follow you out of rooms. So just basically run into a room, hit stuff, and run back out. 90 hit Snow Queen would be peak. I mean, it would. But yeah, I would say if you've just got into, you know, if you just got into ultimate again, just exploit the doors. Also, just be careful how much you're attacking. Quite often, you'll find in ultimate when you first get there that you'll probably be able to get like 2 hits in, and then you'll probably get hit if you're trying to do the 3rd hit. It also depends on if you've got a battle unit or not to increase your battle speed. Oh god, it's me joining last, so crash incoming. Oh my god, it actually worked. Yeah, it's a bit awkward on GameCube as well for battle units, because obviously you don't have access to anything like V101 because it didn't exist on GameCube. So the best you've got is God Battle, and God Battle is exclusive to one section ID. So it only drops on Red Rear. Which honestly was a terrible decision by Sega at the time. Yeah, it's not exciting doing it that way, Mold, but it's when you first get there, it's one of the easiest ways to survive. It will get easier. Is it your very first time in Ultimate? Because if it is, it's probably quite interesting because you'll see all the different enemies and everything. Well, in Ep 1 at least, anyway. I still think the biggest shock when you first get to Ultimate is when you got caves. And you see what the enemies there do. So you get into caves. Why are the lilies not spitting poison anymore? Alright, so we need to keep an eye out for a banner, because I'm assuming some point during this run there is going to be a banner for miss hitting 200. $57k left, okay. I will say I really like the banner thing on Ephinea. I think it's a really cool addition to the game. You know, if I find something really, really rare, I want people to know about it. Playing Humal. Yeah, so it'll either be Hugh which is the class I'm playing at the minute. It's like the female hunter. Or Raymal is the ranger one. For some reason they didn't do a female like human hunter outside of Reg and Rico. If you're playing this class though, you'll probably be pretty good in Ultimate. I think your main issue when you first get there might be hitting things because their accuracy isn't great. I would say though, if you're using this class, definitely make sure that you're using your buffs and your debuffs when you get to Ultimate. Even just hitting things with gel in it, it just helps to, you know, lower their damage a bit. Yeah, Hugh is generally a really, really good solo class in most areas. Do not play Hunuel or Hunter in general to farm mines. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, Ultimate Mines is pretty rough for Hunter. I mean, I will say with... I don't know how Humar does, but Hunuel, it's not too bad because at least you can gel in and Zalo the enemies, you can shift to debind yourself, and generally just use mech guns, honestly, in mines. Oh, a 25 hit cross scar. Brilliant. That can stay on the floor. Yeah, lower level is a bit difficult. It also kind of depends on how the guild chicks are feeling, because if they just want to come up to you and punch you, it's not too bad. If they want to sit back and just shoot you constantly, it's a nightmare. No, the 1 team point. Yeah, I think Hunuel's main problem earlier on is definitely the accuracy. I say it early on, I mean, honestly, their accuracy is kind of terrible anyway. Yeah, I think the game overall is balanced fairly well, particularly for offline. I mean, Hunter definitely does struggle in mines for sure. Ranger, I think in Ep 1 and 2 is pretty broken. I mean, even in Ep 4, it's very strong. I kind of feel like they put the lizards in episode 4 just to try and slow Rangers down a bit, and it didn't really work. And playing a Force solo in Ep 1, I think is fine. The only area I really struggle with my Fornuel when I solo is Ruins. Just because the sorcerers are a bit of a nightmare, because they're not really weak to anything. Pika got a cure paralysis. Why is there no divine punishment melee weapon? If only. 30k left, nice. And a cross scar. Yeah, sorry, Minsk. Yeah, I suppose you are the only Humal. Well, that's probably not a good place to be standing. Never mind, it's fine. Right, don't attack Miss while the banner's on. Or someone got a handgun miller from a Tolar. Can you wit? Actually, you can't really wit, can you? Because there's like shared experience on this. Alright, hurry up, banner. Go away, banner. A 24k, okay, we're okay. Then Vector proceeds to find a 50-hit Galatine. Never say never. How res gold anyway? 1 in 32,000. It's kind of insane thinking about Gold Miller because, like, prior to Blue Burst, before Black Pepper's deal, when you couldn't get Miller as easily, that must have been... Actually, I would argue that's probably one of the hardest weapons in the entire game to get on episode 1 and 2. Because both parts of it are incredibly hard to get. You know, at least with Sango and Yasha, Sango was pretty easy to get. I mean, God help you if you want him to find a gold miller with hit as well. No chance of that. It is just for the best that this is not the Sega server, because you would have just lost 50,000 experience then. Oh, we got a Musashi, apparently, somewhere. Not sure where. Ah, it's on the other side, okay. Does it have any good percent? No, it doesn't. It's fine. Only 8,000 left. Yeah, possibly one more room. Oof. Got Barons. Oh, there we go. Congratulations. Let's get a screenshot of the banner. Misslings has reached level 200. Congratulations, though this now famous Hunter's Hunt is only just beginning. Congratulations. Let's get another level 200 to the ranks. And we'll take that for the next stream banner. Congrats, Miss You Nerd. I like all the congratulations and then just congrats, Miss You Nerd in the middle of it. I'll let you guess who that was from. Good to see you, Ellie, as well. Not Parkins, I imagine. Yeah, so we originally had the nice congratulations messages, and now we're getting all the rest of them now. So congrats, and now touch some grass. I think what amazed me, Vector, is I think you've got loads of high-level characters. Do you actually have a 200 yet, Vector, or you just have a lot of very high ones? I think your Raymar is 199, I think. Can't touch grass without running forest. You got a point. Yeah, we'll have to decide if forest is banned again for the anniversary. Raymar is 199, Hughcast is 196. Also, we got another cross scout with hit. That's 2 in one run. Not that I want them. I've got to say, it's odd to see RDR week actually paying out. It doesn't happen often. Not really a fan of sorcerers in the dark, honestly, but... Is there such a thing as a light switch in here? There we go. Going for red ring next. I don't mind doing a run for red ring. I do need to get at least one more, ideally. I mean, my Thorny Wall has just gone above 180, but I doubt she's going to use one. She'll probably stick to using merges, I think, for the tech boosts. My Rimmal is in 150, so she's got a bit of work to do, but maybe it's worth going for one. Another cross scar drop. Need one for Mismar. I mean, it does require a bit of work to get him to 180. Oh, Raystream has shut the bed again. We are apparently still alive though, so I'm okay with that. Come on, Raystream, you can do it. You can reconnect again. Well, Twitch is reconnected. Apparently it has decided not to reconnect to YouTube. I am still live over there though, so... This is really good for sorcerers, isn't it? Ah, there we go. We are now back on YouTube. Cool. It does this really weird thing, Raystream, now and again, where it'll stay connected on the streams, but the chat will just completely stop working for a bit. Maybe one day they'll make one of the rarest weapons in the game anything decent. The class card Exodia. Yeah, the class cards are basically useless apart from... I want to say there's a couple of them that are used for Claire's deal trades, or... Well, either Claire's deal trades or... It might be forge trades, actually. Or I can't remember which ones it is. Some of them are just useless. I guess they're meant to be like a collector's item, I suppose, but it is kind of annoying that something so rare is useless. Still viewing on the tube. I'm glad to know it's still working. It did disconnect again and then reconnect again, but I think we're back again. Wait, that one sorcerer killed 2 people? Do sorcerers have piercing Megad? Dies of cringe. Maybe it was like a netcode thing, I don't know. But 2 people definitely died to 1 Megad there. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure what game we'll play next Sunday. It will be obviously a Phantasy Star game of some description. I'll have to have a look and see what we haven't played for a little while. Yeah, we haven't done PSU for a few weeks, I guess. I mean, there is only so many games we can play. Phantasy Star, Ethan Way, but yeah, maybe it's PSU next week. Probably cycle around a bit and then we'll switch over to PSO more extensively once the anniversary starts. Yeah, we also haven't done Ep3 for a while. That's a good point. Kind of said that I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll have a think. We'll leave it to a PSU episode 3. Get the stream claimed. Yeah, it was really stupid. When I did the NGS stream, I deliberately didn't monetize the stream because I knew I was going to be running the Sonic LTQ, and I knew that the Sonic Quest has a lot of like Sonic Frontiers music and so on, and music from like Sonic Generations and so on. So I thought the likelihood is I'm going to get copyright ID'd for it. So I deliberately didn't monetize the stream. I still got a message after the stream from YouTube saying you can't monetize this video. I was like, well, yeah, I haven't tried to. It was all a bit weird, honestly. If I tried to monetize it, fair enough, but... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sega content creator, by the way. The thing is, it's not Sega themselves that submit the content claim. It's usually a company called, I think they're called Nextone, which are basically like a music licensing company in Japan that license a lot of music that is used in Phantasy Star. Mainly the PSO2. Yeah, they're the ones that copyright claim the Eat Less Strange Fruits song before. And they were also the ones that copyright claimed the... I think it was the All Hail Shadow song from the Shadow LTQ. So yeah, I'm guessing that Sega used Nextone as like a licensing group. Okay, that's the boss portal. Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those things when you're streaming is that you constantly have to deal with this. One last copium room. I mean, there's always ways around. I mean, you know, if I was only streaming on Twitch, it wouldn't be as much of an issue because I think what a lot of Twitch streamers do is they separate their audio into different channels. So they separate, for example, the game audio into a separate channel from their mic and everything. And by doing that, it means that even if the music gets muted after the stream, you can still hear the microphone, so you can still watch the VOD fine. YouTube doesn't allow you to do that. For reasons I am yet to understand. And that is why you see so many Twitch streamers playing copyright music on the streams and seemingly getting away with it. You're still not really meant to, but yeah. I hope that photon drop wasn't from a Dell server. It wasn't good. we can't take minor heart attacks here. Big sad. No, it's almost like gold to hard drop, isn't it? I mean, do you want to do Gold Dragon since right at the end anyway? Yeah, I'm fine doing a Red Ring run after this if you want. We could do Gold Dragon and then we can... I actually have no idea what Gold Dragon drops. I just figured since we've done the whole quest, Gold Dragon would drop his cheeks. Rain off 3, oof. Not even the good Rainov. Oh, yeah, we can do a Red Ring run then if you want to. I think pretty much everyone would be happy with another one of those, so... You still haven't got Rainov 5. It's not even that difficult to drop, is it? You'd imagine it'd be fairly easy because we've been from Silver Dragon, because I suppose if you run a TTF a lot, you probably do the dragon a lot anyway. Having said that, I have never had a Laconia max drop from Skyly Derol either, so sometimes the game be like that. Literally made it to 200 and never got it to drop on me. Yeah, the game be weird sometimes. Thought you hit Shadow Arms. Yeah, nothing of interest in the shop at all. Sounds good. I guess I may as well just lobby. Tell you what, if we're doing TTF, I'll go and get my phone UL because it's some free experience for her. Oh, you're getting Force instead? It's up to you. If you want to use your Force, that's fine. I was just aware we didn't have one, that was all. Yeah, sure. I'll go get my phone UL then. Probably got 4 or 5 Rhinos from the Silver Dragon. I think I've seen 1 or 2 drop. I don't actually know if the Rhino 5 is any good. I know it's the piercing one, isn't it? But I don't actually know if it's got a use. Never tried using mine, because I do have one, but I've never really tried using it much. Also, for anyone who hasn't seen, they've added a scrolling character select to Ephinea, if you haven't noticed. So you can now select all your characters from the same screen. Up to 32 slots. I've got no idea how they did that. They're literally adding things to the game that weren't there. Yeah, it is fantastic. Really, really good change. I had to remember how to play the game because I've been on Star Wars The Old Republic for about a week now. At least PSO is a fairly low barrier to playing, you know. We've entered the year 2008. Yeah, it's a really good change. I mean, you can still select the slot banks from the title screen. So I don't know what idea you want to do this on. Red Ryu is okay. It's probably better. The only benefit of Red Ryu, I suppose, is the slimes. I mean, I can make it Red Ryu if you want. More the controls, because use a custom keybind to work with controller and utilising the camera movement feels so backwards compared to PSO. Yeah, go on then. I'll do a Red Ryu. I'm pretty sure Red Ryu gets Red Ring. I never use my Force to hunt it because solo in the ruins bit is a little bit annoying. And honestly, solo in falls is a little bit irritating as well. Going home in a moment, we'll hopefully have time to join. Ah, no worries, Blank. Yeah, I'll be going for about just under another hour or so, so... No, this is Green Ring. Curse of being colorblind strikes again. Yeah, I know someone else on PSO 2 who's colorblind. It's always interesting, like whenever he changes something on his character, because he'll tell me kind of the idea he's going for, and it won't look the same to me. That's why he started naming yours after ID colours. Well, you never forget what ID they are. Oh yeah, I'm the leader, Anna. I'm just sat there waiting for someone to start. Yeah, I just realised that. I'm so used to just joining other people's games. Do you know what? I'll just go with Glide and I'll just debuff stuff. It's always really depressing when you play Full in multiplayer. Your damage just completely drops off a cliff. Oh, we got a 15 hit Disco Braveman, so a 25 hit. I mean, it's something. Might be good for an alt character. Forgot which one I gave the 50 hit one to. Yeah, highest I've got is, I think I've got a 45 hit on Taker, which is good enough, honestly. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't turn my nose up at a higher hit one, though. One thing I do need to make for this character at some point is I need to give her a magical piece. So she's got something that boosts Getex. 30 is probably the lowest you'd ideally go for. Yeah, I probably agree with that. I think it depends to some degree as well whether you're using 13. I mean, I guess realistically, if you're using Disco Braveman for damage, you're probably going to use 13 with it if you're going to use it a lot. Because another 13 set boost gives a really nice accuracy bonus as well. It's about 30 a tier. Still no boss drop. Yeah, I think it was about 1 in 26 or something like that. It didn't look like it was too bad. But yeah, sometimes PSO is like that. You know, you'll have a really seemingly easy drop, and it just won't happen. Oh yeah, try and split the slimes for Lavis. That's really funny that it's just frozen nothing there. I should just point out that Fawn and Mazer does nothing with Agastia. They kind of match each other, don't they? I wonder if they are meant to be a set boost and then maybe change the mind later on or something. Because it does look like they're designed to go together. Yeah, I guess he's a really cool looking mag. Yeah, it's very, very easy playing Fornuel in multiplayer. There's Jellin and Zala, everything, that's about it. Because God knows I do no damage. Oh, but Guilty Light. Alright, let's see if we can get some red slimes. Yeah, I think that's it. So, no red, unfortunately. One really weird thing with episode 1 with the Force that I'll never understand is that Dalrymple in Ultimate is much easier with the Force in multiplayer than it is in single player. I don't know why it is, but for some reason its elemental resistances in single player are really, really high. I get the impression that maybe they messed up when they were coding it. So it makes no sense. That's why I don't solo TTF with my phone UL, because it just takes forever to get through Dalrymple. They did mess up coding quite a lot, yeah. Oh, you got rest of 30 drop. Yeah, it feels like it should have been switched around. It literally takes me, I would say, what, 7 or 8 minutes to kill Derol solo with a fun UL. Because for some reason, it just doesn't really take damage from Tex at all. So at the minute, if I'm doing Rafoy there, I mean, if I use my Psycho wand, he's probably already dead, but I was doing about 300 or so a cast on each part. If I did that in single player, I would do less than 100. It's a really, really weird thing. I'm assuming they got the things the wrong way around. Oh, then we've got a Derol shell. Like Estella getting Gola damage value. Yeah, there's a few things with Photon Blast that are weird. So I know, for example, that there's a suspicion that either Fowler or Pillar have the wrong values, because as you probably know, in PSO, in pretty much any situation, Pillar will do more damage than Fowler. I think unless the enemy has incredibly high light resist. But it kind of feels like either Fowler is undertuned or Pillar is overtuned. Fowler does look cooler. For sure. Oh, you meant Pillar. Yeah, it's really weird. Again, I'm assuming it is just oversights. It's weird, isn't it, Vector? Yeah, that the Photon Blast in PSO, you just never use them for actually attacking it unless you're doing a massive chain, because they just don't do anything. The only real exception is Estella. You know, if you use Estella with a really high evade character, then it can do some decent damage, but that's pretty much it. It's like weapon element specials. Yeah, they're also pretty much useless. Not me using the highest defense character. I like Ricochet. I just think, I feel like Ricochet is a bit of a struggle at lower level in particular. There's a value in Pillar that matches their value in Gola. In the code, there's an unused damage formula that's believed to have been Pillar's real formula. So do you think they accidentally copied over Gola's formula for Pillar then? And just never noticed it? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. There's plenty of other mistakes in the game, so it definitely would not surprise me at all. So damage value for Gulla's single target damage was applied to Pillar's multi-target damage. That would explain why Pillar is so much stronger than Fowler. Like, it doesn't make sense otherwise, does it, that Fowler is so much weaker and it kind of hits the same enemies? In fact, Fowler is worse because Fowler also, I believe, doesn't hit aerial enemies, whereas Pillar does. So it makes no sense at all. But that does make sense if they forgot to use one of the calculations. You keep wanting to check your experience. I mean, I would say Gazonda glitch, but it's not really going to work with a full Newell, to be fair. I'd have to use, like, Crimson Court, Red Saber. The unused formula has a higher damage value than Fowler, but less than Gulla. Yeah, I think what's weird about that is you would think, wouldn't you, that they would change it in like the next version of the game. I understand they couldn't patch the game at the time, but you would think that they would go, okay, so we messed up that formula last time. Let's fix it for episode 1 and 2. Or let's fix it for Blue Burst. And they just never did. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if they were working to a tight deadline, maybe it was just overlooked. Is entirely possible. I've really saying only caring about the bottom line. Back then it was much harder to check for that kind of stuff without tools and, you know, people who cared. It's kind of crazy when you think about the release of PSO, because obviously you had version 1 in 2000, you had version 2 in 2001, GameCube in 2002. So you had 3 versions of the same game within the space of a couple of years. It's crazy to think about it now. You would never get that now, really. Miss got a 4 on drop. Assuming that was from a Belra. Exactly, yeah. I suppose now it's different, isn't it? You don't get like separate releases generally, you get patched updates. That was extremely rude. Funny World problems there. Yeah, DLC updates to fix all the problems. You can tell I'm playing Funny World because I'm just getting no PB at all. 69, nice. No invincibility triggers. It's really annoying on falls, isn't it? That you get your mag trigger as you walk in the arena. So by the time you get to this phase, you've wasted half of it already. And then this phase wastes the rest of it. Also, I don't know how people play Force here and spam Gifoy in the middle, because every time I try doing it, I get killed. Because the wind-up is so long. Maybe with a different weapon, maybe? I guess the rod animation is quite long. Yeah, I guess you could go with no weapon. That was very close. That was a clutch star at Miser. Yeah, downloaded this game yesterday after watching some of your beginner's guide for it. Oh, glad to hear that. Hope you're having fun with the game. Good to see you as well. Yeah, hopefully the beginner's guide was somewhat useful. Phase 1 just gets deleted. Yeah, how is Falls feeling? Angry, apparently. Yeah, not great for Funny Well. The thing is, there's not even any point me putting a Cure Freeze in because I just don't have enough health to survive the spinners anyway. It just does not matter. Even though people say Force is hard on first-time players, kind of want to run it anyway. Love mage classes. Force, if it's your first character, it can be a little bit awkward at the start because you'll probably spend a lot of your money on fluids. Once you get over that hill, though, it becomes easier. Yeah, Force is fun, honestly. It kind of depends what Force you go with as well, honestly, for the money, because if you go with this Force, they are very, very tech dependent, so you will generally struggle for money a bit early on. But there are some Forces who can kind of get away with melee as well. Yeah, late game Force is really fun. Yeah, I would generally say, like, for a new player, Hunter and Ranger are definitely easier to play, I think, for the most part, as a first character, because you're going to have very limited funds. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go with the Force for your first character, go for it. You know, you still have a good time. So no red ring banner then, huh? So have you decided on a class then, Hemet, or in terms of which Force you want to go with? Or are you still trying to sort of figure it out? A 25 hit striker. always the strikers, man. Always. It's always force weapons that I've hit. Certainly feels that way anyway. The one that has the name Mal in it. The female human one. Yeah, full Mal is really, really interesting class. Yeah, the names take some getting used to. Yeah, if it's the female force that is not this one, then it's Formal. Yeah, Formal's a really interesting class because she can kind of mix up between force, between like force techs. She can also use melee quite well, particularly later on. Maybe not so much early game. "45-hit Vulcans." Were they charged Vulcans or just Vulcans? I'm still yet to see any charged Vulcans with hit in my shop. Just Vulcans, yeah. Well, we tried to get red ring. We also failed, but... Do you have to play with a team, or is it possible to solo everything? There's a couple of quests in the game that have so many enemies that they're kind of designed for multiplayer. They tend to be the custom quest, though, to be honest. I would say that probably 90-95% of stuff in the game is soloable. So yeah, certainly don't feel like you have to play with other people. It is totally possible to solo. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I'll show you that now, actually. Just in case you don't know, when you're creating a game, if you're on Blueburst anyway, if you create a game, if you do want to solo, make sure that when you choose play mode, that you choose one person. Because if you choose normal, the enemies will have multiplayer stats. So the enemies will be more difficult. So yeah, just make sure you choose one person mode if you are soloing. It just makes the enemies a little bit easier. They're slightly less experience, but it's negligible difference, honestly. Yeah, I mean, if you do normal, you will get multiplayer experience, so you'll get a little bit more experience. But typically, if you're soloing, I would personally just recommend going with one person. I think the only other thing you won't really be able to do very well solo is you won't be able to do challenge yet. They have talked about maybe making it doable solo in the future. But for now, challenge mode is a multiplayer only thing. And obviously battle is PvP, so that's self-explanatory. Is Point of Disaster the only quest that requires being in a guild? No, there's one other one. There's one called the Robots Reckoning, which I have not run for a long time. You would think with it being called Robots Reckoning that it's in mines, but no, it's in desert with no robots. Yeah, no worries, miss. Thanks for the games. But yeah, on Blueburst there is... So there's probably 2 quests that you can't run unless you're in a team. The teams also give you a few other little benefits as well. So you'll be able to do things like change your character's costume if you're in a team as well. If you want other versions of PSO, you can do that without being in a team, because teams are a new thing in Blueburst. But yeah, definitely make sure you do one player mode though if you are soloing. So I've probably got time for another run or something. Is anyone else hunting anything at the minute? Also, if you have just started as well, next Sunday, I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but next Sunday, the weekly boost on Ephinea will roll over, and it will be experience week, so you'll get 50% more experience in any quest. well, not even in Quest, just in general. So that'll be from next Sunday until the following Sunday after. So that should help you out a bit as well. Heaven Striker run? Yeah, I'm down to do a Heaven Striker run if you want. Yeah, basically, I mentioned earlier, but there is basically like a 4 weekly rotating boost on the server. So this week it's rare drop boost, so rare things have a high chance to drop in. That won't really affect you on the lower difficulties because you won't really start getting any notable rare drops until sort of very hard difficulty. But yeah, next week should be experience week, so you should be at level a bit quicker. Also, I think we do still have some team slots available as well, so if anyone does want a team invite, just let me know. I have to take some time to decide my character's name, because I remember that you mentioned that names impact your drop table. Yeah, so... Have you played PSO at all before, or is this your first time playing it? You've played some PSO too. Okay, so in PSO, basically, the entire like rare drop table is dependent on... If you look at my character, if I zoom into her, you see this little red badge on a collar? That's what's called a section ID badge. And the different section IDs get different types of drops depending on what color badge you have. So it completely changes your rare drop table. So I do have a guide on my channel, I think, what the benefits of some of the section IDs are. Yeah, I think we've got space, Boink, if you want to join us. Yeah, because I'll be the third in this run, so... I know Mist's gone for dinner, so yeah, if you want to jump in for this Heaven Striker run, feel free. Yeah, like Draffia said as well, there is a command on the server as well. Yeah, there is a command on the server as well that allows you to change section ID once. It is a one-time thing, so be careful about using it. Honestly, you could use whatever, Boink. We've got a ranger, we've got 2 forces. It's a desert run we're doing, so it's up to you. I mean, obviously, force is really good in Net 4, but if you want to use your hunter or your ranger, feel free. Yeah, there is a level limit on the section ID change. I can't remember if it's level 20 or level 30 that it goes up to. Occasionally they do give out extra section ID changes as well. Usually that is if they make any changes to the drop charts. Sometimes they'll give like a section ID token out. But I know you mentioned you were playing Formal. Honestly, go with whatever section ID you want to, but I know generally if it's your first character, honestly Pinkle is probably a really decent choice for a Force section ID for a first one. Because you get a lot of the sort of core Force weapons really easily. You get things like amplifiers and merges a bit easier, which to help forces as well. So Pinkle is a really good choice, but it's certainly not the only one. Yeah, I mean, you could make more section IDs work, honestly, but Pinkle is kind of seen as generally like a core Force ID. I'm not sure anymore about level 30 techs. It's possible they might have better rates on it. That I actually don't know. So we're just waiting for Boink at the minute, so we are getting a 4th. But yeah, on the Ephinea website, there is a section that goes through all the different drop charts as well. So they do have all the drop charts and everything on there. They also have guides on their wiki as well. So I would say I do have a video on like class basics for 4 mile, but it might also be worth looking at the Ephinea 4 mile guide as well, because that'll do things like recommend gear. It'll let you know kind of the advantages and disadvantages of the class, and it'll also give you some section ID recommendations as well. I will just warn that I will be semi-useless. Yeah, it'll probably help you. I mean, even if you don't look at the video, the guide on Ephinea is really useful as well. It's funny how I only got into the PSO rabbit hole after playing a Phantasy Star mod for a fan game called Sonic Robo Blast 2. Yeah, I think I've seen that actually. I think someone linked it before. Interesting way of getting into the franchise, but I'm glad you found it. Yeah, Red Rhea is also a really solid choice. I mean, this character is Red Rhea. Yeah, Red Rhea is quite good for getting like frames and armors, which can be quite useful as well. Yeah, I would imagine it was probably the Infinity one, Pika. I think you linked it before. I remember seeing that though. Definitely one of the stranger ways of getting into Phantasy Star, but you know, we all have to start somewhere. Just be aware of Phantasy Star as well if you do play the games. Pretty much every game plays completely differently, so there'll probably be one that you really like playing, but it might just be a bit of experimenting to find the one that you like. Bluetooth's acting up, no worries. Thanks for the follow, TLTV. At first I thought the actual PSO game was about building combos, then I learned otherwise. Yeah, generally in PSO you'll do like 3-hit combos that are timed. Force you don't really need to worry about it too much because you'll probably just be spamming text most of the time. With 4 mile you will probably melee a little bit later on. I mean, if you played a bit of PSO 2, you probably kind of know about the timed attacks anyway, because there was a similar feature in that. Assuming it was PSO 2 base anyway, because I know New Genesis got rid of it. Yeah, we'll get started in a minute. It takes a bit getting used to. It was base, okay. Yeah, I mean, in base it was like, it was there. I think you got a damage boost if you did timed attacks, but you could still do untimed ones. In PSO, if you try button mashing in PSO, you'll just do 1 hit and then stop. There we go. The other thing I would say about Force as well is if you think it's a very slow class for like tech speed and everything, don't worry too much. Generally, you'll find that your techniques, which is like your magic, will get a lot better as you get higher level discs for it. So you'll tend to get, you know, bigger area of effect on your techniques. The casting speed actually gets better on some of them as well. And you'll generally just find technique discs as you play through the game. Yeah, there is quite a lot to think about when you're playing a Force, you know. Again, I would definitely check the guides because there are different advantages and disadvantages to each Force. Full Mal, for example, she's really, really good at support, so she has very, very big like healing range with Resta. Do you start off with any techniques? Yeah, so generally you will start off with, from what I remember, you definitely start off with Fui, which is your fire technique, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think you start with Fui. I think that is the only one you actually start with. Yeah, I think it's just Fui to start with, but you will find discs quite commonly. They also do sell them in the shop as well. They'll typically be quite low level discs, but for getting started, you could probably buy them from the shop as well. You're all good for unsealing, no worries. Yeah, there's a decent selection of techniques in the game that are kind of used in different situations, so it will be a bit limited at first because you will just have Fui. Do you have many kills left on that CLJ Sword Porkins, or...? You unsealed an Excalibur first, okay. I mean, to be fair, Excalibur's probably more useful. Only 8k on this, okay. Yeah, there's some great weapons in this, yeah. Yeah, this one I'm using at the minute is one of the rarest force weapons in the game. But this one I was using at the start, if it stops knocking me over. This one's actually quite easy to get. It's really, really good this as well because it basically doubles the range of your buff techniques. At some point in the game, will let me stand up. It is a Psycho Wand. It is. Yeah, this and the Red Ring are the only really rare things I found on the server so far. I swear, the fireballs here are some of the most annoying things in the game. I'm convinced they like change direction mid-flight just to hit you. And V101, obviously, yeah, we've established that. You're at least familiar with many of the techniques. Yeah, I suppose if you play PSO 2, I think that does use a lot of the same technique names. In fact, there's more in PSO 2 than there is in PSO. Not sure what this guy's doing, but I'm for it. Yeah, when you first start, like say, you'll probably just have Fui, which is like a single fireball. But later on, as you start finding text, you'll find techniques that will hit multiple targets as well. Still haven't been to this area at all. Or rather, that room specifically. Yeah, honestly, this game is still really well supported. Typically, I would say there is usually between... I would say usually there's between 100 and 200 people playing. During big events, so during the anniversary event in August, I would expect it to get up to about 500, maybe 600. Because that's like the biggest event of the year on the server. It is crazy how many people are still playing it. It's because the game holds up really well. Yeah, I should stress as well, just for anyone watching who's maybe wanting to get into PSO, Ephinea is certainly not the only server you can play. There are other servers available as well. I would always typically recommend Ephinea as the primary server though. Yeah, another cool thing about Force as well is that as you level your techniques up, they will visually change as well. This game scratches an itch I didn't know I had. Did Ultima get got? I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't checked out Ultima server for a long time. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the gameplay loop of PSO is fairly simple. You know, essentially, it's just like go into an instance dungeon, kill the enemies, get back out again. But honestly, it has such a good repetition to it. I think a lot of that is just because of the whole, like, I guess, like the rare drop farming element of the game. There's always that like desire to like keep going to try and find something rare. Isn't that the crazy custom server? I think it might be. Is it Destiny, the really crazy one? Yeah, Destiny server. If you want like crazy PSO with everything changed, then yeah, by all means. But if you want an experience to be a bit more how it actually was, this is probably the closest server. Yeah, Hemet, you're certainly not the only one with Monster Hunter. There seems to be a thing with Monster Hunter and PSO where a lot of people who like Monster Hunter also like PSO and vice versa. I do play Monster Hunter. I mainly play the more recent games, honestly. I'm a worldlet, so I didn't start until like Monster Hunter World, really. But I love World. Quite like Rise and Sunbreak for the most part. I'm still waiting on Wilds a bit. I played it a little bit, but it needs a bit more time. But yeah, I love Monster Hunter. I think I say this every time someone mentions Monster Hunter, but there was a thing, basically, when Capcom were developing the original Monster Hunter for PS2, when they were researching games to sort of use for research, PSO was one of them. And then when Sega were developing PSO 2, they used Monster Hunter as inspiration. So it's no surprise that a lot of players who like one tend to like the other. Not everyone, though, as you can see with Braylon. PC can barely run Wilds. If they can optimize it some more, maybe it won't crash as much. Yeah, you're not the only one. A lot of people are in that situation. It is really, really poorly optimized. Join the MH-DOS. Yeah, I mean, that could be something we do try in future. Maybe try some of the older Monster Hunter games. Yeah, hip check by Plesioff. It's like a rite of passage, that, isn't it? First Monster Hunter was Freedom Unite on iOS. Okay. Yeah, there was also on the Japanese version of PSO 2, there was also a Monster Hunter collaboration event. Where's Freedom Unite for Android? Now you're asking the real questions. Yeah, PSO does not need much of a PC to run. Although it's funny because I do remember when it was new on the Sega server, the Blue Burst, a lot of people did struggle to run it back in the day. It was mainly because I remember it was mainly the fog effect in the central control area. For some reason, I don't know how Sega recorded it, but the fog in central control area would just lag everyone. Obviously, that is not really an issue now. Oh, you're making your character now? Oh, nice one. Just to let you know, Mets, as well, we do have a Discord as well, so, you know, we do play a bit off stream as well. And there's, you know, plenty of people over there who are helpful as well, so feel free to join us over on the Discord as well if you haven't. There should be a link in the, it should be underneath the video description, I think. I have vague memories of the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate demo on 3DS. I think the only demo I played was... I definitely played the demo of Freedom Unite on the PSP. Which is actually really funny because I played it and thought, no, I really don't like this. And now I play a lot of Monster Hunter. So... clearly something in my brain changed since then. Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's probably not that way. Does someone have to go down here? I mean, I'll do it. I was wondering if there's a switch down here, but no. Long ads, yeah, it's on Twitch side, unfortunately. So the way it is now, the way I've got the ads set up at the minute is you should only get ads about once an hour. I think when you get them, you get about you're meant to get about 3 minutes of ads. Because the default for Twitch is to do a minute of ads every 20 minutes, which I think is quite disruptive. You got an ad as you said that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, on YouTube, I don't even have any choice. It just happens. I think I can adjust it for videos, but not for live streams. Oh, Pika got a Justy. Green Hill confirmed again. Personally think I wouldn't play PSO without the shared bank feature. It definitely helps a lot. Yeah, so that is another thing to mention. On Ephinea, there is a shared bank, so you can swap items between characters, which wasn't a thing on PSO. How does he look like Link? It's just one of the standard phonium outfits, but a lot of people use the outfit because it kind of looks like Link. Also using the lame kind of helps. I think the only weapon that would look more like Link would be the Ancient Saber. Because that does just look like a Master Sword. Unfortunately, Ancient Saber is kind of trash. I think there is a weapon heart for it though, so you could skin it. He's using the lame. I know that's like a really weird thing to say out of context, really, isn't it? imagine having several characters with the ID drop chart and not having shared bank. Yeah, it was basically a case of either, on GameCube at least, it was basically a case of going to offline multiplayer with a friend and drop items there. Or if you were online, risk trading stuff to another person and hope they don't scam you. The elevator shoes on Phonium are crazy though. What are those? Yeah, I mean, Phonium World shoes are bad enough, you know, with the big platforms. Phoniums are crazy. How many PDs is a Photon Crystal worth? They're not worth a huge amount. I want to say it'll only be a couple at most. I would think, what, 1 or 2 maybe, but 1 or 2. Yeah, probably be somewhere around there. If you want to check though, Texas, Ephinea does have a price guide on their wiki, so maybe worth mentioning it there. Yeah, generally they're not worth a huge amount because they're only used for a couple of things in the game. They are still useful, but they're not particularly rare to get either. Too bad people generally don't go by the price guide. Yeah, I mean, there's no obligation to use it, I guess, but I know if I'm trading something, I do try and stick to the price guide. I will say, I don't think the price guide is perfect. I think there are some items on it that are maybe slightly under or overpriced, but generally it's a pretty good idea. Yeah, basically the Photon Crystals, they're mainly used for a couple of things. So you use them for the Black Paper's deal quests, which they're basically a currency to run the quest, more or less. And the only other thing you really use them for that I'm aware of is there is an ability on Ephinea to add hit percentage to enemy body part weapons, and that requires Photon Crystals as well. What's that thing you're doing with the menu? Is it an exploit or something? So this is basically a quick menu. So in the game, this will be really useful as well if you just started. If you play on gamepad, I can't remember what the controls are on keyboard and mouse, but on gamepad, if I do like right bumper and Y, it brings up this menu. So this is all my different texts. And also if I press right bumper again, it goes to all my weapons and then to all my items if I press it again. So it's basically a fast way of getting to your stuff. So as well as having the techniques on the palette on the main screen, like at the bottom of the screen here, it's also another way of accessing techniques. There is some little exploits you can do with the menus though. So if, for example, if you're walking down a corridor that has loads of traps in it, you can either open the menu and just keep running, and you won't slow down where the traps are. Or if you open your quick menu like that and run. If you let go of the stick, you'll stop walking, but typically if you, say, walk into a corridor that's got loads of traps in it, if you walk in there and you don't have a menu open, your character will get to the traps and then start walking like that. Because your character will walk whenever you go near an enemy. So you can see that, like, if I go near that enemy, you can see I kind of walk. Yeah, this is Ephinea, yeah. So yeah, it's a really useful little thing. Like, generally, if you're not sure if there's traps in a corridor, it's just quite useful to either open your quick menu or your main menu. The mech dudes look cool. Yeah, that is a recast, so that's like a male android ranger. Oh, there you go. Pika just found a Photon Crystal now. Must have heard us talking about it. Been thinking about why they never patched that out between our versions. Yeah, it's weird. I will say though, there are a few quests in Blue Burst where they seem to have tweaked the traps to go off a bit earlier. I think it's mainly in some custom quests. But there is a couple of quests where even doing that will still get hit. But generally it's a safe thing to do. Didn't mean to grind this out. Reiki seals are catching dust. I'm going to assume that was accidental. Yeah, it's just a much faster way of switching weapons, honestly. New to Twitch, how are you doing, Sky? Yeah, doing pretty well, honestly, yeah. It's very, very warm here at the minute, but otherwise doing well. Somebody's got to put on the Photon Blast palette option. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It feels like everywhere is hot at the minute. I know, most of South Europe is really burning up. The UK is meant to be getting really hot. It's starting now, but it's meant to be really hot tomorrow. It just feels like everywhere in the year is just incredibly hot at the minute. Know for a fact I'm going to be spending a lot of summer playing this. But I'd say somewhere around August should be the anniversary event, which is like the biggest event of the year. So it is a fantastic time to play. They do events all through the year, the giant Christmas events and so on as well, but the anniversary event in August is definitely the biggest. I will just warn you though, it is a massive grind, this game. That is kind of part of the charm of it as well, but it is incredibly grindy to get to high level. With experience weeks, it's not too bad getting into ultimate difficulty, which is like the hardest difficulty. But getting to, like, for example, getting to level 200 is a hell of a task. It is a huge grind. Oh yeah, I mean, some people love that grind. Is this your favorite PSO or just the one you're focused on right now? Yeah, I think for me, I think the GameCube version of PSO specifically is probably my favorite, but generally I like PSO in general is probably my favorite Phantasy Star. But I have played most of the franchise, so I do enjoy most of the games. Yeah, PSO will always be really special to me though, because it's kind of the game I started with. The grind makes you put in numbers that shouldn't be possible. Yeah, it's a cool franchise. It is still quite a niche franchise, I think, but particularly now. I think in Japan, I know PSO 2 is really popular. In the West, not so much. It is overall, I still think it's quite a niche franchise, but I really like it. I thought Phantasy Star 3 was your favourite. Phantasy Star 3 has been amazing for terrible dialogue. Now, to be fair, I mean, Phantasy Star 3 hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be, but the writing is not its strong point. Feels like you're very late to the party, but better late than never. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, this server has been going... in fact, I think this anniversary might be the 10th anniversary. So this server, I think, has been going for nearly 10 years. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Oh, thanks for the follow, Neuronian. I really don't like these enemies. Some of the worst enemies in the game. So yeah, I wouldn't say late to party. I mean, obviously you were late to the official servers, but there's still easily enough people playing this to get, you know, to be able to have a good time with it. Again, like I say, we do have a Discord, so if you join us over there, there's plenty of people who play over there as well. So, as well as on the Ephinea official Discord as well. Every enemy in Ep 4 is all about hitting you from far away. Hunter hell. If anything, this is the most genuinely authentic way of being able to relive some nostalgia. Oh, for sure. Gotta go grind out some Mazetta to build your progress units. Another NGS player then. Yeah, I need to do that as well. Well, I say that I need to find some progress units first. I haven't had any drop yet. No luck whatsoever. I should just buy some, honestly. Oh, a 5-hit charge Gungnir. How's Vile? Difficult. I've cleared him once. I haven't done it many times, to be fair, but yeah, I have one clear. It generally stresses me out trying to do it with public games. But yeah, Vile is definitely very difficult. You're 3 BP away from the bare minimum. Honestly, the battle power requirement to run Vile is really high. It requires like really high investment in gear. I guess they're kind of wanting to make sure that you're well equipped for it, but even with some well equipped characters, I've got some characters that can't do it because of the requirement. Going ahead and game and have your guide on. Definitely going to check the Discord too. Yeah, no worries, Hammett. Like I said, we're probably going to wrap up the stream for today, I think. But yeah, feel free to join us over there if you haven't already. Last week, I was able to finally put best in slot augments on my Acro boot. It takes a long time, honestly, to get all the capsules and everything. Or even just getting the money to buy them. But yeah, I think we'll end that one there for today. So there will be a video going live on Tuesday for members and another one for non-members. There'll be stream on Wednesday, which will be some more Phantasy Star 3. Please let the writing be better in the next one. So yeah, Phantasy Star 3 on Wednesday, and then next Sunday we'll either do PSU or PSO Episode 3 Card Revolution. I'm not sure which one yet. But we'll decide a bit closer at the time. Yeah, thanks for everyone for hanging out today, and thanks to all the new people for the follows as well. Much appreciated. If you have enjoyed the stream, as usual, just consider liking, subscribing, etc. It's not my first time playing Ep 3 and not my first time on stream either. I have done it on stream. Hello, Kathy. Great timing again. Yeah, also, while Kathy is here, podcast coming up on, it's either the 8th or the 9th. I can't remember the date. It's either the 8th or the 9th. The podcast will be dropping. So keep an eye on Kathy's channel for that, for the premiere. See, I'm advertising it. But yeah, we'll end that there for today. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for the next stream. So whatever you're doing, have a good week. Try not to melt in the heat wave. And I will see you next time. Is Mega alive streaming now? Because yeah, I don't mind raiding him if he's still live. It's on the 8th. Okay, there you go. You've heard it from Kathy. So it's on 8th. Yeah, we will, on the Twitch side, we will raid Mega alive then. But yeah, I will see you guys on Wednesday for next stream. So whatever you're doing, have a good week, and I'll see you then.